I sell one animal for 5,000 to 10,000 to 20,000, and I take half of that amount. I invest back on the feed. The first quarter of the year, the money I make in the first quarter of the year, it's enough to cover for the whole cost of the year. There's money there. There is too much money. It took me longer. It took me over 3 years to make money because I started it without knowledge, without experience, without learning from other farmers. The mistakes that I've made, you don't have to make them. Come to me, I'll give you free education. I'll give you free experience. I'll show you how to cut corners in order to arrive at your dream faster. Today, my goats are sought after all over the world. I'm sure you have seen on YouTube, a lot of people in India, Pakistan, Australia. I'm hosting Australians, South Africans are always coming, Namibians are always there. I started by mistake, but yeah, I'm quite passionate about goat farming.
So ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome to the show today, Mr. Kenny Maybe. How are you, my brother?
Good, sir.
Good
How
to
are
see
you?
you. Good to see you. Good to
Thank
see
you.
you.
Good to see you.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Deep Dive Sessions. My name is Mpomotaro. Thank you for stopping by. Today we have a treat for you. A goat farmer who's making waves that ripple far beyond the savannah. A visionary farmer with a passion for excellence and a determination that knows no bounds. Buckle up today as we dive into the world of goat farming with Kenny Maybe. Let's deep dive. So without further ado, for those that don't know you, can you let us know, Omang, what do you do?
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Mpo, for having me. And thank you very much, guys. My name is Kenny, married, with two beautiful kids, which one is called Rose, and then the second one is Moteo. And that's why my farm is called Rosemo Farm. I am a young farmer.
Yes, sir.
And I became a farmer by mistake. And
really?
Yes. I became a farmer. Yeah, by mistake. In short, that's Kenny.
Yeah, no, you already hooked us. Eh? You wanna know what happened?
What happened?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So what happened is that in 2015 I got married. I was 27 years old, and I was a city boy. I was just like any other guy. And, my parents and other relatives, they started giving goats during the presents. Got my wedding day. So in Gabani, I come from Gabani, and they wrote 7 Tswana goats, which is indigenous goats. And immediately after the wedding, after the wedding, a day after the wedding, my dad told me, hey, man, you know, in Setswana, they like you to build your head now that you are married.
Yeah.
I said, just kill all of them. Just give people the meat. Hey, He says, no, there's too much meat, because that time I slaughtered, I think, four cows. Yes, it was a big wedding.
You wanted people to eat the next week now.
Yeah. So,
after the wedding.
So they said, and my dad also said, no, these are breeding stock. So you need to go and collect them. They're not here. You need to go and collect them. And I said, not dead. I'm not a farmer. You are not a farmer as well. He's not a farmer. Hey, he's a builder. So I said, you are not a farmer. So I'm 27 years old.
Yeah.
I can't be a farmer.
Arbola
So my mom and my dad, by then, the following 2 weeks, they started collecting those animals. And in Gabani area, where my forefathers used to farm, because they actually neglected the place. So they asked, and I remember by then I was driving a BMW, and I had to fetch water in gaps. I was staying in gaps. I had to fetch water to go and give them water. I got BMW. I make it lower really. It was just something else. And my dad gave me 6 months. I don't know. So he was there at the farm, and that's how it all started. And after that, my dad got a contract in Francistown to go build, because he's a builder. So I had to hire a headsman. So that's when hell broke loose. I hired someone, and I realized that the 7 goats, within the next 6 months, which is I started in 2016 actually. So the next 6 months, I realized I'm paying 1,000, which is 6,000 plus water, plus my fuel, plus feed. And these things are only 7, they're not multiplying.
Yeah.
And
it's a gabedi mo ngwageng.
no, it's a gararo in 3 years. Yeah, in 2 years actually. So I realized I am making a loss here. So I call my dad. I'm saying, hey, timer, I'm closing this thing. I'm not going to be willing to be spending my time here. And then I can come to tell I'm still young. I'm 28 by then. So, and he said, no, just hold up. Everything will come together. So a few months later, I realized, hey, I'm paying this guy for free now. I decided to buy extra 4 goats and then extra 4 goats. These are indigenous goats.
Yes.
So at the end, there were 16 animals. And after 16 animals, they start multiplying. It became, I think in 2019, I went all out. I spent more money on them and they started multiplying. I had 300 goats.
So you never took loans or anything?
No. Because I'm unbankable, they say at the bank. Yeah. And I really don't care about it.
Yeah.
They say I'm unbankable because I run my money from other businesses or business doesn't come consistently.
Right.
I make huge sums of money that lasts for a year or 2 years. So the bank likes to see consistency of income. Yeah. Okay. So I then increase and they multiply to 300 goats. So I remember in 2019, I sat down with my dad and I said, you know what, we need to improve. I've seen there's Boer goat farming, Kalahari goat farming, as well as Savannah goats. So we took a decision, me and my dad, because he's my advisor. He has never been to school. He's the smartest guy on this earth.
Yeah.
Even if I have a deal to make, I go to him and ask him. Even if I was getting married, I told him about my wife and the advices are always quality. Because I really love the dude. We are best buddies.
Yeah.
So he said, okay, fine. Let's look for a buck, a Boer goat buck that's going to come and change all the animals, the 300 females. Probably 4,000 or max of 7,000, the one beast that can cost that. So there was a gentleman called Mr. Sitole coming from Joanning. He came and bought 100 females from us. Each one was 900. It means I made how much? 90,000. Yeah. So there was an auction in Tlokwing. The auction that was there in Tlokwing, it was my first time attending an auction at Stockman's. And I went there. I tried to buy a buck. And to my astonishment, one buck cost 88,000. I went home. I said, I can't spend my money here. Because it was Bushra from Fahim. And I said, no, I'm not going to spend my money here. I can't sell 100 and replace with one. No. So I went back home and then I sat down with my dad. I started buying 4,000. Yeah. Didn't do much of a change because it wasn't quality. Went and bought another one for 7,000. 2020, we took a U-turn. We sold all the Tswana and indigenous goats and started again with quality animals. And that's when
things started to really...
We really made a good point, yeah. And I fell in love with goat farming. And in 2020 also, after buying the new breeding stock, all the new bucks that were born, I went back and thanked each and every person who gave me a goat with a buck. Yes. Because those guys, they really knew what they were doing by giving me goats.
Yeah.
And today, my goats are sought after all over the world. I'm sure you have seen on YouTube, a lot of people, India, Pakistan, Australia. I'm hosting Australians, South Africans are always coming, Namibians are always there.
Yeah.
And I started by mistake, but here I'm quite passionate about goat farming.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't even know what to say now,
You need to stop me when I speak, because I will speak forever.
It was lovely. Yeah. Okay, talk to me now about the Boer goats.
Yeah.
Which is what you are in. This Kalahari, this Boer goats. Talk to me about what does a quality goat look like? What does it entail?
Yeah.
What does a quality goat have?
Yeah, a quality
what are the attributes?
Yeah. A quality goat, it has different characteristics. When you start looking at it, you must have a hard moon, but it has to have a curved head, and the horns has to go backwards nicely, so that these horns, when they go backwards nicely, it doesn't get to hurt other goats.
Right.
If it is a guy, if it is a buck, it needs to have a wider chest, have a robust face, but the eyes needs to be tamed. It needs to have a longer length, big depth, so that, and also the bum needs to be there. We call them the hen quarters.
Yeah.
And when you see a quality goat, you have seen one.
Yeah.
You're not going to be mistaken.
Right.
But one of the things I always say is people need to attend one-day classes so that they learn about, there's a constitution that runs the Boer goat. That you'll be given the book, and you're going to learn what is a Boer goat, what is not a Boer goat, what makes it a Boer goat. Color only, which is a red color and white body, doesn't make it a Boer goat.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you went into farming like this.
Yeah.
And now you're running it as a business.
It's a business.
Right? Because I think a lot of maybe the lack of wanting to get into farming, maybe for younger people, not all of them. There's actually a good number of people who are young, even here, who are into farming.
Yeah.
I think, I think, go farming every weekend, taking money there, giving money, like running it traditionally, not as a business. You talk about it, you talk about hiring people who know what they want. So talk to me about the pivot. Or did you just start it as a business from jump, or you had to pivot from now moving it from traditional to like, let's do this as a business, let's account for everything, let's do things right? Yeah.
In 2020, when we took a U-turn, I started making sure, because every business that I run, it needs to make profit.
Right.
It has to make money. I'm not going to run a business and say, no, I have many goats, but in essence, it doesn't make money. It needs to make sense. So we keep records. I'm an old guy. I keep them old school way by notebook, but also on my phone, I keep an app called Money Manager. So Money Manager, every money that I swipe, the message comes to in order for me to save that money. And all the invoices, I take pictures, save them on my app.
This Money Manager app, is it the one
It's free. No, it's for accounting. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not for goat farming.
Yes.
But
It's an accounting firm.
Yeah. There are many goat, like the Heads Boy. There are many apps.
Okay.
Yeah. And is it profitable? It's 100% profitable.
And also, how quickly were you looking on the time horizon for profitability? Because I remember in one of the videos you said maybe 1 year, 2 years for you to start making profits.
It takes longer. It took me longer. It took me over 3 years to make money. Yes. Because I started it without knowledge, without experience, without learning from other farmers. But, I've always said, I'm here. The mistakes that I've made, you don't have to make them. Come to me, I'll give you free education. I'll give you free experience. I'll show you how to cut corners in order to arrive at your dream faster. And yeah.
So starting out now, what would you do differently?
Yes. I will definitely get 10 beautiful goats and a stud animal. 10 beautiful goats. Okay? But if you don't have money, because these animals are quite expensive, just get 10 commercial, not so expensive, 2.5 each. Okay? And then make sure you get a stud animal. When you crossbreed it with these animals, it should give you something that is quite valuable. Yeah. And allow yourself to make mistakes. We are not perfect. And also make sure when you sell at the good price. And cut a lot of cost in terms of feed, in terms of labor, in terms of a lot of other things, factors. Yeah.
I believe that's what I wanted to get us to. I wanted to talk about feed and also cutting costs. But before I ask you that, how were you able to, get these realizations? Do you have a mentor that mentors you in terms of farming?
Yes.
Where you're able to say, okay, he took you down.
Yeah.
Because, success is...
The funny part is I have many mentors, but I never told them they're my mentors. Yes. Because I've realized that once you start telling people that you are my mentor, they start shaping themselves towards what you like, how you like it, and then they hide. So, but I have one good guy. We are best buddies. I think he's 75 years old. His name is Mr. Machacha of Chandima Farms. I've learned a lot. Every time I'm going through a sick animal or anything, I just pick a phone. Even at 11 or 12 midnight, I just give him a call. I need your advice.
Yeah.
And he's always willing and able to help me.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely. What about feeds? Where do we get quality feeds?
Yeah.
For our goats. Where do we start looking for them?
I'm going to talk about feeds in two different ways.
Right.
Okay. I try to reduce feed cost the other time. And I started planting lab, which in 10 hectares. I plant maize. I called the nutritionists to come and mix all those things. And my animals didn't change in terms of body weight, and I wanted them to gain weight.
Yes,
I love my I love my goats in terms of when they look like me, like fresh.
Yeah, they look fit.
Yeah, fit and fresh.
Yeah,
and in that time, I was trying to cut the cost of feed, but I also realized something. I was feeding the 300 goats. A poor quality goat eats as much as a quality goat.
Oh.
Yes. So
same amount.
It's same amount.
Okay.
It's 2.5 kg a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why shouldn't you have quality goats? And then when you sell the quality goat, it's gonna cost more.
Yeah.
But the local one, you're gonna sell 1,000.
Yeah.
So I realized later, I said, you know what? I'm gonna now, because now I afford it. Now my goats afford to buy themselves feed. I'm not going to stress and plant a lot of lab and maize and what. I'm just going to go to the shop. I sell one animal for 5,000 to 10,000 to 20,000.
Yeah.
And I take half of that amount. I invest back on the feed. The rest is, I make sure also the first quarter of the year, the money I make in the first quarter of the year, it's enough to cover for the whole cost of the year. Yeah. The first 3 months.
The whole cost of food.
Food, mudisa, me, everything. Yes.
And then the last...
This is profits now. There's money there.
Yeah,
There's too much money.
Yeah, no, motivate us a little bit. Let's hear the numbers. give us the numbers.
I can open my phone. I think I was checking. I saw your questions. Last year, we didn't make a lot of money. I think it was 269. Yeah.
Lovely stuff. I think there's the broader end to the conversation.
Yeah.
But let's come back to the farming itself.
Yeah, the farming business. Yeah.
Talk to me now about how do you help? How do you? Let's talk about diseases.
Yes.
The
management of diseases.
Management of diseases.
Yeah.
Let's talk also about vaccination, all that. Yeah. How to do it right, because this is where you can lose a lot.
True.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. The management of diseases are quite different. Your farm, Mpo, in Muchudi, is totally different from my farm in Rabani.
Right.
And I'm running 3 farms. I'm sure you have seen that.
Yeah, you have seen.
Yes, I have one in Rabani, one in Mulepulule, the last one in Nwari. I'm also a cattle farmer. Yeah, but
Oh, you have cattle too?
Yeah, I have little number.
No, you have everything.
Yeah, I'm also a cattle farmer.
Yeah.
And I'm only breeding with 186 goats. I need to take them to 400 because the demand is just too much. I can't contain the demand. But the management of diseases, I've realized from my 3 farms, it's totally different. The one in Mulepulule and the one in Nwari, they are in the same queening. Actually, I'm in Khabani, Mulepulule and Nwari, within the same district, which is queening. But the farm and the diseases there that affects the animals are quite different. So you might have a vaccination plan.
Yeah.
Okay? But you need experience.
Yeah.
You need to know that my hard water in Khabani, the hard water is the one thing that kills a lot of animals in Botswana.
Yeah.
But my hard water in Khabani, the strain is just too high. So I need guys that, and I've hired Temba. He's a Zimbabwean guy. I've taught him very well.
Yeah, I've seen him on the videos.
He's quite a famous guy.
Yeah.
He knows that once an animal does this, we need to inject it with this. Once it does that, because he needs to act faster. But whereas you go out of Khabani, I go into Mulepule area, where I'm also breeding. I'm having over 100 and something animals there. The hard water strain is quite low. So it's an experience. You might get a chart and say, vaccinate for this, vaccinate for that. It is important as a guidance, but for the most important part of farming, you need experience.
Yeah.
You need to experience that and
then
make
you
sure,
see how to act quickly.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff. Talk to me now about the marketing of it. You're having a lot of demand. Would you say, I assume you have more international demand than local.
Yeah.
How are you able to build that demand? Because there's a lot of farmers here, even in the audience, who would like to sell international. Obviously, you have YouTube.
Yes.
18,000 subscribers is a huge number in Botswana.
It's huge, eh?
It is a huge.
Yeah. And it took only less than a year to do that.
Really?
Yes.
I know you need to give me the keys. The
Definitely.
castle,
When I was coming, I said, for sure, I've seen how you do your YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you advice. Hopefully it will pick up
Thank
or
you.
not. Yeah.
Thank you.
But
No, they must know.
Facebook, I've done Facebook. I think I'm quite good in marketing. I'll sell you anything. And my Facebook has picked up and it has sold Rosemont Goat Farm in bigger platform. But of lately, I started to, I think last year I was like, hey, let me just go onto YouTube.
Yeah.
And last year, August, I started monetization of YouTube.
Yeah.
And surprisingly now, YouTube also, it's added revenue to my farming.
Yeah.
Because every month from YouTube, I'm making 3,000, 4,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't even have to post any video.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it takes care of Madala, who is the manager at the farm. It takes care of Temba's salary.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely. So in terms of that, it takes care of that. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. There's so much I have to, I'm looking at so many pieces
Because I know for sure if I can speak on it, it's going to take longer.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Definitely if we unpack it, if we had more time, I could
we'll definitely unpack it. Maybe even during the break we'll unpack it. That's why you should attend the live sessions. But anyway, Mr. Kenny, talk to me now about the what is the biggest mistake that you made in goat farming?
The biggest mistake that I've made in farming is buying wrong animals, cull animals. Cull animals are animals that you are not supposed to breed with them. Yes. So
and they sell those to people.
Yes, because you don't know, you haven't studied.
Yeah.
You get to someone's farm, they just give you a cull, so you're going to multiply cows, but people are not going to buy cows from you.
Ish. How do you identify that?
You need to learn. You need experience. You need to attend classes. You need to constitution. You need to learn. I have booklets of goat start animals. You need to learn. So that book consists of Savannah, Kalahari, as well as a boar goat.
Okay, no, please send it to us. We'll link it below so that they can get in touch with it. Yeah, no. Mr. Kenny, let's talk about the breeding now.
Okay.
What are some of the most successful strategies or ways of breeding that have worked for you more in the farming, in the boar goat farming?
It's quite a difficult question, eh? I don't know how to answer it.
Yeah.
What are the most successful breeding?
Yeah. In terms of the way you breed, what is your outlook on breeding in terms of producing the best? And how can what are some of those tips you can give us?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I must also mention I practice natural synchronization. So natural synchronization is whereby you wait for the ewes, the females, to get on heat. Like I don't... I'm heating, I get in a bag to mate it. So I just wait, put them together, flash feed them first, and then after flash feeding, it means overfeed them, feed them so that they gain weight. All the nutrients are there, as well as so that they can give you triplets and twins and quadruplets.
Right.
So you control twins, quadruplets, and all those things by overfeeding them.
Oh.
You should flash feed them before mating. And
how long is that period of flash feeding?
Well, it depends. Every goat every goat responds differently to feed, but 3 months prior to mating them, even 2 months. Yeah, and then also we inject our animals with exotic abortion, so that we don't have any goat that is gonna be aborting.
Okay.
So and then you're gonna be putting a bag at the same time so that the kids can come at the same time. The management of kids is at the same time. So we have 2 breeding season, which is the May one before winter. We want our animals to give birth before winter because winter could be a harsh condition to the kids. And then we have the August one. And then that's when we group them together into one kraal. We also flash feed them, treat them again because all the medication, sometimes you're going to inject for exotic abortion, exotic, and then the animal is not immune to that. So those that are bought, we group them together and then reintroduce the back again.
Okay.
So we practice natural synchronization for now.
Okay, so that's one of your strategies actually to go about it.
Yes.
Now, when this goat is it's a ibatla ho tsala, you know, a lot of farmers experience this premature birth and all that. These problems, even livestock here, just the difficulty in giving birth.
Yeah.
What are some of those things you have managed?
Yeah, it's simple. Some of the medication that you're going to be administering to your animal while it's pregnant causes abortion. For example, there's a medication called Multivex P+. They said, even if on the leaf that they have written, even if it's pregnant, you can inject it. My experience, if I inject it within 50 days, because a goat is pregnant for 150 days, okay? Which is 5 months. So if you inject it within the last 50 days, there's high possibility that it's going to abort. So some of the things that also causes abortion in goat farming is the handling of your goat. Let's say you want to cut all the hoofs and then your herdsman is chasing them around, is grabbing one, it's not putting them and then grab one and cut. And by all means, we always try to we never manhandle the animals when they are on the last 50 days of giving birth. Yeah. So some medication you must avoid. Even if it's written, don't inject. The only thing that you can inject is when an animal is sick. And you can see, I might lose the animal, I might lose the kids. So use the oxytryptline. Oxytryptline, ibidwa terramycin. But terramycin is labeled one medication, that antibiotic. We have different labels. Your somycin is still oxytryptline. Your high tet, ultra tet, and all the like. And on that medication, look for oxytryptline. It should always be 230 milligrams. Yeah. Then you have a higher dose of that antibiotic.
Right. So in terms of your goat farming business, you've talked extensively about hiring a great team.
Yes.
The team can make or break.
Yes.
And now, even on your videos, you're introducing to the team. Talk to me now about this, because I think we touched on it slightly earlier when we were talking about, the traditional way of doing things.
Yeah.
In terms of doing it, instead of doing it as a business.
Yeah. Because
you have people that you bring into. So what kind of people are you looking to hire? And do you have them come in, or you train them before they get into the job?
Yeah. Well, I have never hired a high-skilled person. But I will really, really love. The other time I was actually talking to the team from Bu, and I said I need at least 2 of your guys there. I'll just pay them 2.5 each. I need high-skilled people in animals, but currently we have Temba. Temba has been with us for the last 2 years now, and we have taught him. He knows a goat, what is a goat, how to treat a goat, how to do age and everything. Even when I'm away, like I was away, the 4 days that has passed, I knew for sure he would take good care of. But I still don't trust him enough. I've hired my dad also. He gets a salary and more is demanded out of him. He's the production manager of, he's the dude who's moving from my 3 farms when I'm not around. And he makes sure that he goes and checks all my farms. And and the other time, funny enough, I said, when I was so it meds. Now I still have a challenge to raise my kid, which is Moteo, and I have to also try and push him to take over. So hiring the right person. I used to hire a guy. I hired the guy, his name was Botselo. Pregnant. And they don't care, these guys. They don't know the value of this thing. And you'll be saying, that time when you do this, so just try and train someone. And what I've done with my workers also, in a year, I've said one of your salaries, 1 or twice of your salary is going to buy you an animal from me. Yes. So even if he goes out drinking or goes partying, he knows one of the animals is mine. Hey, so he still comes. He needs to come back and still take care of them. So the guys at my other farms, they have one animal there, and whenever we sell, sometimes they sell the animals, and then the money goes back to.
Have you ever experienced theft from your people from within? I think I had a guest not so long ago. I don't want to give the time frame because I haven't gotten permission to give the story.
Yeah.
But Leno Adira about cattle breeding.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had about 40 of their cattle stolen by somebody who has been working with them for I think 5 years or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how are you working against that and trying to combat that?
Do you really want to know?
Yeah.
This is quite funny. I haven't experienced it, but I had a feeling that the guy in Mulepole area, the last one that I hired before the current one, I had a feeling that he was stealing my animals. And he kept on saying, Pogo Jojile, Piri, and predators were eating my things. So the other time I just did a ridiculous thing. I brought a long red, let's say, I just bought it from Matzile. Hey, I brought it and then brought Medzinyana color remote. So I put the long in front of So ever since I did that, nothing has gone.
Yeah. No, that's
I didn't really was trying, but I had to do that.
Yeah, that was powerful. Yeah.
You just have to think.
You have to be creative.
Yeah, create something.
Yeah, you have to be creative.
Yeah.
And also know, right? Baby, all right.
But also, I've also I want to adapt technology now.
Yeah.
At first I was against putting cameras at my farms. I think now is the time. I was talking to my wife the other time. I was saying now is the time. Yes, because actually we brought a valuer at my farm in Rabani, and that guy, they valued my animals, which are only goats, at 670,000. So I said, there's some value here. Looking at the market price and all these things, I think there's value. So probably I'm gonna be putting cameras that uses the solar. I think one is 3,000 to 4,000.
That's
I must do that. Yeah.
I think in drones too. Yeah, there'll be from time to time with those.
And also I don't stay far from my farm, so I could just
My last question for you, Mr. Kenny, is how do you want to be remembered as Kenneth?
Well, I want to be remembered as a very nice guy. I know I have a strong character. Sometimes I come across as a very difficult person because I want things to be done a particular way. But I want to be remembered as a hard worker, as someone who loves people, someone who cherishes life, someone who wants to help the world, and someone who is a farmer. I think I found my perfect happiness in farming. In goat farming. Can come to tell Papa.
One time.
And a family, man. I'm quite family oriented. I love my kids. I love my wife. I just want to build the perfect family out there. And I'll never do anything to jeopardize that.